Hey, what is going on, guys? Coming at you with an updated deck profile that has been long overdue, and that is my Chainburn. So interestingly enough, I was actually heavily considering playing this at the Monroeville Regional this past Saturday. I eventually came to the decision of wanting to play Monarchs just to give myself an actual better chance of winning, since I do, kind of consider Monarchs a better deck than Chainburn, honestly. But I ended up seeing a deck profile video on YouTube, which made me almost regret my decision. That was a Chainburn deck that actually got top 16 at a regional. I think it was somewhere in Virginia. I don't quite remember. I'll actually leave a link to that in the description below. Interestingly enough, I saw the build. It didn't really differ that much from my typical builds. And interestingly enough, when I talked to the guy, on YouTube, he had mentioned that he had really only been playing the deck for a couple weeks, and he kind of threw the list together last minute. So that kind of makes it even more of an amazing feat, especially considering how long it's been since Chainburn's actually done anything relevant. Probably a good 3-4 years at least. So that kind of warmed my heart to see. It also warms my heart to see that there's actually a few of you, that actually requested this updated deck profile, and that some of my Chainburn videos are actually some of my most watched videos on the channel. So it's really awesome to see that a lot of you guys actually do like the deck and do appreciate the builds I give you guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So starting off with the monsters, we of course have the 2 Lava Golem. I said before that it's basically the boss monster of the deck for getting rid of the opponent's big boss monsters, burning them for 1,000 each turn, and then potentially punishing them for having this big monster on board through things like Ring of Destruction and Blazing Mirror Force. Then we have the triple Battle Fader. I still prefer Battle Fader over Swift Scarecrow because, like in a Cosmo matchup, for example, if you use Swift Scarecrow, they can chain tag out and they'll get around that attack negation. Whereas with Fader, it just sums itself and ends the battle phase. The only problem with it sometimes is you do have to worry about Solemn Strike, but you would also have to worry about Strike with Swift Scarecrow anyway. So that's why I do prefer the Fader. Plus, it looks a lot better as a secret than Scarecrow does as a super, in my opinion. Then we have the triple card car and the 2 Max C to round out the monsters. Max C isn't as good right now as when I was playing this deck previously. I think it was around November or December for my last deck profile. But Max C is still very important because even if it's dead in a certain matchup, like say Monarchs or Cosmo, you can still at least get a 1-for-1 out of it and use it as a way to build up your chain links. So that's why I still main the Max C, and it is an easy side out game 2 or 3 if it is. If it has a bad matchup. So that's it for monsters. For spells, we have the double Chain Strike, the namesake of the deck, of course, the triple Pod Duality, the 1 day apiece, and then finally the 1 Scapegoat. Scapegoat's here because it kind of gives you another name, and it can be at times a better stall card than say Woboku or Threatening Roar, because the 4 Scapegoat tokens you put on board can sometimes provide you with multiple turns of stalling if you're going against a slower deck like say Monarchs, or if you fill up their board with Geometry tokens, you're almost guaranteed to get multiple turns of stall out of it. So that's why I personally do like teching the 1 Scapegoat. As I said, it does give you more names for fulfilling your requirements for Chain Strike and Accumulated Fortune. So that's it for spells. For traps, we have the triple Accumulated Fortune, the triple Chest Desserts, the triple Reckless Greed, double Blazing Mirror Force. This is actually something that the guy that got top 16 with this deck was not playing in his build. He basically replaced these with a 3rd Secret Blast and 3rd Secret Barrel. And he had mentioned not playing these or Dimension Wall because of the fact that they're not chainable. And I do understand his point on that, but I still really like Blazing Mirror Force because it kind of doubles as a stall and burn card, considering that you clear your opponent's board, which depending on the matchup can really kind of push them back a turn or two, and then also being able to burn them for a lot of damage and potentially game them with it is really good as well. So I really can't see myself ever cutting the card, and he even said as well that he would at least consider testing it. Then we have the 2 Ojama Trio. It's become slightly more relevant now since more people seem to be playing Burning Abyss since they got their reprint in gold, and they combine pretty well with the new Phantom Knights. Then we have the 2 Secret Barrel and the 2 Secret Blast. I was able to make room for 2 of each. I'd previously been playing like a 2-in-1 or a 1-in-1 to make room for other cards, but I did bump this up, to 2-in-2 just to have more chainable burn cards. Then we have the 2 Threatening Roar and the 2 Oboku. Then for 1-ofs we have the 1 Balance of Judgment and the 1 Ring of Destruction. Balance is a card that I've been back and forth on. It's a card that, because of how inconsistent it can be at times, I'd like to cut, but it's just so powerful when it goes off. It's almost an auto win if you get 3 or more draws off of it, to where I just can't ever see myself cutting this card. And there are enough situations where it actually comes up, against enough relevant matchups to where I would still probably play in the main. But it is, again, similar to Max C, a very easy side out, game 2 or 3 almost all the time, honestly. And then Ring Destruction, against Cosmos, it's very bad. If Monarchs, have March established, it's pretty bad, but it's still a very good burn card. One of the best burn cards in the deck, especially if you're able to use it against Lava Golem. So that is it for the main deck. Total of 40 cards. It's 10 monsters, 7 spells, and 23 traps. And in this version, I'm not playing an extra deck. I'm not doing the Chain Burn and Zector variant of this deck. Biggest reason for that is because one of the things I found actually playing Monarchs at the regional Saturday was that almost every game 1, people were asking me about my extra deck size. And of course, when you tell them 0, they automatically assume it's Monarchs. So playing a deck like this that plays no extra deck can possibly trick people into thinking that you're playing Chain Burn, and if they go first, they'll try to set up a board kind of revolving around stopping Monarchs, and then you'll get that extra card and basically not care that much about what they have established on the board. So that gives you that bit of an edge game 1, that bit of a surprise factor. So for the side deck, we have the 2 Ice Hand and 2 Fire Hand. They're not as good as they used to be, obviously, but they can still catch the opponent by surprise. They're just good for being able to get rid of an annoying monster, get rid of an annoying back row. You'll be able to summon another copy of itself. It thins out your deck, gives you a little bit of stall power. Gives you that ability to clear boards. Like Fire Hand especially can be good against Stenko. Ice Hand can be good against Royal Decree. And I mean, honestly, game 2 or 3, a lot of people will side out some of their spot removal because other than say like MSTs or Decree or whatever, just because they won't find it that relevant against Chain Burn. So I still feel like these will be able to resolve enough to make it worth the slots on the sideboard. Then we have the 2 Swiss Scarecrow, just in case we need some more deciding some more stall power against some OTK heavy decks like Mermails, Cosmo. And in case we feel like Battle Fader is going to be bad in a certain matchup, we can side into Swiss Scarecrows instead. Then we have the 1 Santa Claus. This is kind of my 15th side deck card. I put this in here as another annoying monster removal based card. And then the plus side to this versus Lava Golem is that you only have to tribute 1 monster. So if they're wanting to sit on 1 monster, like say Cosmos are wanting to sit on a Dark Destroyer, or you're going against a random matchup that's playing Naturia Barkion and they just sit on that, you can potentially just tribute that 1 monster for Santa Claus, which is why I kind of found room for it. Then we have the triple MST for obvious reasons. The 1 Book of Eclipse, 1 Dark Hole, and 1 Regeki for some just removal of annoying things on the board. I was thinking about Torrential, but it's kind of shut off by Royal Decree, so not really worth the slot. And the neat thing of Book of Eclipse is it gets around Marks for the Monarchs in the Monarch matchup, since it doesn't target and doesn't destroy. And then for the final 2 cards of the side deck, we have the 2 Fairy Wind. This was a card I was very highly considering maining because of how good it is against Pepe. It can be decent at times against Cosmo if we're hitting like Call of the Haunteds. Against Monarchs, it can be kind of neat to hit like their Domain or March or Return. But I just really couldn't find room to squeeze it in. I didn't really find it good enough to make a slot for in the main, so I just decided to put it in the side. So that is it for this updated deck profile for Chain Burn for March 2015. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and do be looking forward to some more updated deck profiles in the near future. With some of the cards I did pull from Premium Gold Free, I do hope to give you guys an updated version of Geargias with Daigusa Emerald, and then no Senjus as well. So I did get my hands on some Lose One turns and Lightning Chidori as well, and also Mistakes, since that card's pretty good in there. Really, the only card I'd like to have that's missing is Anti-Spell Fragrance, but it'll be pretty cool with this Kakashi mat to have Lightning Chidori on it as well, especially if I can put it like right down in the corner where Kakashi has his hand down for his Chidori. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.